Hello and welcome to this year's edition of Around the Valley Sports Talk. I am your host, Will Zimmerman, and joining me today is former UMass football manager and intramural legend, Justin Mortin. Before we jump into our debate, I would like to briefly introduce how the show works. Each week, myself and a co-host will passionately debate a series of both national and local sports topics for the pleasure of our viewing audience. Roughly speaking, we will debate 9 or 10 topics that will come in rapid succession, moving across a plethora of current sports topics. We will have about 3 minutes to expound all of our knowledge onto each other and to you. At the end of each show, our incredible crew will choose the people's champion, at which point our winner will have 3 minutes to talk about whatever topic he would like. At this point, let's jump right into our first topic. A big news in the sporting world, obviously, is the Super Bowl. This year's matchup is the Baltimore Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers. Justin, who do you like, why, and who do you pick?
I like the Ravens in this game. They have a solid defense, full of veterans, know exactly what they need to do. Ray Lewis is obviously giving them all the drive they need with his retirement party, quote unquote. But you know, I'd have to go with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the whole retirement thing, I think it's great. I think it's an emotional boost. I don't know how much it actually plays into the game. Matchup-wise, you got two brothers going at it. How weird is that? We got two family members are joining teams that are very similar. It's two defenses that go right after each other with star-studded players on each side. You got, obviously, Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, of course, coming from the Ravens. You got Aldon Smith, who is second in sacks this year. You got Justin Smith on the defensive line for the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, Patrick Willis, a perennial Pro Bowler. I don't know, man. What do you think the matchup really is going to hold in store?
I see the Baltimore Ravens D-line with Nada. He's just an absolute house in the middle.
Unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely.
Stops the run. That could get Frank Gore out of the game real quick.
Yeah.
Put all the weight on Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Who he has performed thus far. Who knows what the pressure's going to do.
He's a video game player. He looks insane. The way he ran around that Packers defensive line was absolutely incredible.
It was ridiculous.
But, yeah, what do you think about the offense? What do you think about Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco, luckiest quarterback in the NFL.
It's unbelievable, right? It's absolutely incredible.
I mean, he literally just chucks the ball up. Usually Torrey Smith and Quan Bola just beast. Go up, get it.
Yep.
That last catch against Denver the other week.
Oh my God, that's a miracle. You
Can't say I
you'll
didn't
never.
like it.
That's
Can't
Pop
say I didn't
Warner.
like it,
Pop Warner, deep is the deepest. If you're the safety, you got to be 3 yards behind him and go up for the ball and knock it down. Couldn't believe that happened. That was absolutely out of control.
Way out of position.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm thinking that the 49ers are going to take this game. I like the way they play offense. It's old school. It's 2 wide receivers, a fullback, a running back, a tight end. The tight end is so dynamic in Vernon Davis. And Colin Kaepernick, I've been waiting for him to blow it. I've just been waiting for him to blow it, and he hasn't. He's risen to the occasion every time, and he's an absolute man. He's huge. He's 6'5". He runs like a 4.5 40. Dude, he can pass. He can definitely throw the ball around. So I like them in the matchup. But is it going to be close? It's two identical teams going after each other with two kind of unsteady quarterbacks. It's going to be a fun Super Bowl. Obviously, as a Pats fan, our New England around the valley, it was tough to see that happen. What do you think happened in that game?
It was the only player that showed up in the second half of that game was Brandon Lloyd.
Yep.
Wes Welker, I don't want to see him again. He can make all the catches in the regular season. Sure, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame with all the record he makes, but he has yet to show up in a crucial time.
Yeah, I mean, he's dropped 2 balls back and forth. Yeah, that's definitely.
Troy Brown never did that.
Nope.
Is he going to be in the Hall of Fame? Probably not.
All right, so who do you got? Go right now.
Ravens.
I'm going 49ers, so let's watch that one.
Harbaugh, Sunday. I'm ready.
All right, we're going to move on to the NBA. Big news coming out of Boston. So our local boys, our star point guard, arguably the centerpiece of the team, Rajon Rondo, has been injured with a torn ACL, and he's out for this season. What do you think that has to do with the Celtics' playoff chances, and what do you think that does really just the team morale overall right now?
I don't think it's going to hurt their playoff chances because, honestly, I don't think their playoff chances were that good in the first place.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're old. They don't have the hustle they used to have. You just don't see any heart out there. No one's running back down the court on breakaways. They just let them go get the free basket. They never used to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to disagree with that. Obviously losing Rondo is going to hurt the playoffs champions. I mean, the guy is a top 3-point guard in the league. I think they were going to make it. I think they were going to be 6 to 8. They're too much of a veteran team. And in a 7-game series, man, this team can pound you, can grind you down. It's Boston sports at its best. You know,
true.
Who do you think's going to bring the ball up?
Probably Jason Terry.
Think so?
Avery Bradley's obviously going to get a lot bigger role, but dude's glass.
Yeah.
He's just always broken.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Paul Pierce is probably going to do a little bit of the run
that's
of
what
the
I was thinking. I
offense,
think
too.
that's going to be interesting to see who's going to be bringing that ball up. I don't know. I mean, it sent shockwaves around the league, which I thought was kind of crazy that so many people had so much respect. I saw a tweet from Kobe Bryant that's saying, much respect, hate to hear you go. And obviously after the game, the Heat were talking about what was going on. But, I mean, I'm in that camp where I don't think it's actually going to have the biggest effect on the team. I think that we have that core group of veterans. We got 2 young guys that are coming up playing great. Sullinger played great the other night. Obviously, Avery Bradley, he can be good. So I think we're still going to be right there at the back of the pack towards the end of the playoffs, and I don't think anybody wants to see us. I don't know. I mean, if you don't think we're going to be there.
They just brought Fab Melo back up, too.
That's true. They did.
Signed from the D-League.
Yeah, so I don't know. Speaking of the D-Leagues, we're going to move a little bit into this. This is a great story for everybody who watches basketball. Allen Iverson, AI, famous for his little news conference there, talking about practice. He had an offer from the D-League, and he just, I guess today, he decided not to play. The team was called the Legends, and it's a Dallas Mavericks affiliate. Do you think AI should be coming back into the NBA, and do you think it'd be good for the NBA?
I think David Stern would love it. Get the ratings back up, maybe for a little bit, a week or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome to watch him. I don't know if he still has the handles. I'm hoping he would still have the handles. He turned down all those offers from Chinese teams and everything, so he could get back in the NBA. Finally gets a shot and turns it down. So
yeah, it was weird
it was
bizarre the way that he turned it down. I was following this. It came out yesterday that there was an interest in him, and he's definitely been trying, and he's made it known in public that he's trying to get back into the NBA, which means he thinks he's got the game. I mean, he's 37. You got players like Rasheed Wallace and not Antoine Jameson, Howard. From the Heat, Juwan Howard, who's been around the league, I think 21 years, something like that now.
At least since 92 or 93.
Yeah, since the Fab Five, which we're going to get into in a second here.
Yeah.
But I think it would be awesome for the NBA to sign him into just an outright contract. They tried it with the Sixers a couple years ago so he could retire a Sixer or whatever. But, I mean, the dude's got so much personality. The game needs a personality right now. Like, LeBron James, he's got nothing. He really doesn't do it for me. I love Kevin Durant. He's just like a nice guy. But, man, those press conferences, those old school, we talk about practice, everybody hating on him. I miss it.
The cornrows.
The cornrows, right?
Gotta have the cornrows back.
David Stern made a policy on dress code because of the way Allen Iverson was going into the game. I don't know. I think it would be pretty funny. And especially with Dallas. What do you think about that? Like Mark Cuban being the one to...
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cuban's always been that kind of guy. He loves to build a good team, but he also likes to have the characters there.
Absolutely.
Keep up morale. He's born leader.
He's born leader. And he throws his money around. He's shown that he throws his money around. All right, well, we're going to move on to the golfing world, which finally went right. Tiger Woods absolutely routed his last his go at the Farmers Championship at Torrey Pines. He won by, I think, what ended up being 4 shots, but had a lead of 8 going into the final round. It was a clinic again. What did you think about the win? How do you think that golf looks at it? And yeah, let's see what you got.
I like it.
Yeah,
I love it. I think the golf world loves it. I think people that aren't in the golf world loves it. Everybody knows Tiger. Everybody wants to see Tiger win.
Yeah,
and he crushed it.
Yeah, I mean the
crushed it. Some of those shots.
Oh. It was
some of those shots.
I feel like I watched most all of the third round. Unfortunately, with it being pushed to Monday, and I couldn't see the final 6 or 7 holes. But man, his third round, it was like every single shot he was taking was from the middle of the fairway. It was old school Tiger, and it's so great to see him back.
Love seeing the championship red again on Sundays.
Yeah,
Monday this week.
Yeah, so great,
damn.
and just out in control, knows control of his own destiny. What do you think it means for the season?
He needs to get off to a quick start. He needs a good win, good solid win in a hard tournament.
Yeah.
And I think this was it. He had the weather up against him.
Yep.
He had a solid field behind him.
Yep.
And he just crushed it. That'll bring your confidence up to back when he was 20.
The glory days, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Green
think
jacket after green jacket.
I think the stat was that when he's won this tournament 7 times now. And he generally starts his year off at the Farmers Insurance Open, and he's won at Torrey Pines 8 times. So this is a course that he's incredibly comfortable on.
It's a record.
But since he's won that event, he's gone on to win 4 more tournaments, and at all but I think 2003, he won a major in each of those years. So I mean, it definitely bodes well. I really wanted to see Rory McIlroy. I wanted to see him play Rory McIlroy, and I know they both played in the overseas. I can't Abu Dhabi, I think is how you pronounce it. And they both missed the cut, which was such a bummer because I want now that Rory's on Nike, I want to see them do it. I don't know.
It's a pretty sweet commercial they got.
Oh, it's a great commercial,
commercial.
yeah. But all right, so then the other thing I wanted to ask is, for golf, how good is this for golf to see Tiger back up and running?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. They got their legend back.
Yep.
Phil's another legend, still playing awesome.
Yep.
Then you got the young field, Keegan Bradley, Rory McIlroy, all boom.
Yeah, I mean,
coming up. It's awesome.
It is great, but I wanted to touch on something else because it's been Tiger was so highly debated since the accident in 2009, and finally now we get a little glimpse into his personal life. Again, it's been coming out that he has been seeing World Alpine Skiing champion Lindsey Vonn, who is America's darling. I mean, the girl wins everything. She's won 4 of the last 5 World Cup overall titles. She's won in every event at least once, I think, each of the last 3 years. I'm pretty sure on that one. What do you think of this?
Good for him.
Yeah.
Little kick in the toot for Elin over there. Yeah. I heard he was talking to her again. Apparently, she's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
We get a little love triangle going on here. Some blondes that are, I mean, I think it's great. It's it's finally happening. It's finally, it's great. I don't know. Obviously, the reports are both camps they're not denying it, but they're not, outright saying they're dating or whatever. But I think it's terrific because maybe there's a steadiness in his life again, and he can come back. I just want to see the man win golf tournaments. He is golf for me. With those years that he was out and he wasn't in majors, I didn't watch the majors. My
whole life, dude.
I mean, Tiger is Tiger. He owns the PGA. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's very cool. All right, so we're gonna move topics here real quick, and we're gonna go over to college basketball. Now,
your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite. I'm a true blue fan, a Michigan fan, and they were just voted #1 in the AP poll for the first time since the Fab Five. What do you think? And, I mean, what does this mean for the university, especially with that Fab Five, the way that ended?
I think it's going to be a short-lived #1 for them. I mean, you got so many good teams out there. Yeah. Indiana can still climb back up to #1. Kansas is playing ridiculous right now. The fact that it's the first time they've been #1 since the Fab Five, I mean, let's face the facts, there's one guy from the Fab Five still playing basketball right now professionally.
Yeah.
Juwan Howard from the Heat.
And he's not seeing court time.
No.
Yeah.
No. So, I mean, it's huge for Michigan.
Yeah.
Their football is good. Now their basketball is there, but I don't see them going all the way.
I'm going to take an opposite opinion here. I think they have the team to do it. You got that backcourt. Trey Burke, he's a sophomore. Kid can score. He's playing a ton of minutes. He played a ton of minutes as a freshman. You got Hardaway Jr., and he's right up there. They if you look at the averages, I think I think Hardaway Jr. is maybe 1 minute less and shoots the ball maybe like 3 times less over the course of the game. Their point averages are right there with them. This team takes 23s a game and makes 40% of them. That right there, if they're going to be hitting those shots, it's going to be tough to blow them out. They're going to be hanging around.
They got some drain.
Yeah, and they got some athletic dudes. You see, Duke is always a threat to me. They're always just hanging around. They have a terrific team. I know they just got blown out by Miami. Maybe that's good for them. I'm also a UNC personally.
I'm UNC
fan.
all the way.
Yeah.
Duke's a bunch of funky, goofy white boys.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're playing great basketball, which, I mean, Mike Krzyzewski's team. I don't know. And I agree to the point where, you got Kansas. Kansas is Louisville is a team to watch out for.
I like Silva.
Yeah.
I like the way Silva plays.
Yeah.
They got a solid squad. Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it in the NBA, but he's got something in college basketball that just can't be matched.
And he looks like the sleaziest man around, but
Fly.
he knows how to recruit, kind of like a John Calipari. And with that, we're going to stay in college basketball, but I want to move over to a local. We're going to go around the valley. Right now, we're going to go to UMass, and I want to know what you think. I mean, UMass basketball right now sits at 13-5. They're playing decent basketball. They've hit a little bit of a skid as they open conference play. I want to know what you think a UMass caliber basketball team getting into the NCAA tournament would do, like what that would do for UMass sports.
I think it would be bigger than UMass football entering D1A this past year, entering the FBS, because, I mean, UMass basketball has always been there. It's Dr. J, Marcus Camby. He just retired his number, I believe.
They did.
I mean,
very cool ceremony.
They've always been there, but they always got it taken away. So if they can get one in the books and keep it stay, that would be huge.
I think I take the same. I mean, you are a UMass student, and I'm finishing up there too. And we've never seen a sporting team be able to take over the campus, and which I think really speaks to the discontinuity between students and the athletics here. You just not too many people are going to the games anymore. I can't look past this team. If this team fails, not to make the NCAA tournament, but if they fail to make the NIT, it's just going to be another. I don't think that UMass could recover sports-wise from that, because it's been 5 years ago the Chris Lowe carried team that went down and played Ohio State in the NIT finals. They came back in and just were womp womp, couldn't do anything, and that spiked a whole 4 years of basketball that I think I went to maybe one of the games. And this year it's they're exciting again. They got Chaz Williams. We got a shot. I don't know. I mean, do you think it would boost all athletics overall, or just kind of the basketball program?
I think it would do wonders for the whole school in general, the whole university. I was up back home at Westford bartending, put the UMass basketball game, and I actually had people at the bar sitting there being like, "Oh, you put on the UMass game, awesome!
Right.
Want to watch this?" And I'm never thought I would hear somebody tell me that.
And Massachusetts needs a college sports program. For so long we had the BC. BC kind of was the one to hold the can. They were the Big East, basketball champions a couple of years. But they've turned a new page where they've got new coaching staffs and stuff like that. And obviously Boston's a pro sports town. We got 4 unbelievable pro sports teams. Title town right now. It's so cool to grow up around this area. But we don't have that the tradition that college team to root for, and we're looking for it. I mean, we really are. You listen to interviews. I was watching a YouTube clip from '95 when Camby played Tim Duncan, number 1 versus number 2 UMass versus Wake Forest, and it was rowdy. And there was cheerleaders were into it. The band was into it. I think Massachusetts is ready for that.
I think UMass could absolutely put a stake in the ground, fly their flag over the whole state of Massachusetts if they could pull something like this off.
I think so too.
Huge.
It would be huge. It would be so big for recruiting, for the campus itself, especially with the campus trying to
Expanding,
redo, and trying to redo some of the way people look at them and stuff like that. We're gonna move. We're gonna go over to the NHL now. We're gonna bounce. The first thing that I want to get is, because this is the first airing since the season has started up again. I want to know what your opinion was of the lockout.
I think that it was a huge mistake, huge loss for the NHL. They honestly, all their negotiations didn't go anywhere. It was just a huge waste of time for everybody. Not only does it hurt the fans, it hurts the businesses around all the teams. It hurts the NHL's overall fan base. You have people like me, don't care so much for hockey, football, baseball, blah, blah, blah. I was actually starting to, buy into what the NHL is trying to give me. High, fast-paced, exciting, rough and rowdy, fighting, the whole kit and caboodle, and they lost me.
Yeah, that was what I really wanted to see, because I know, I'm a huge hockey fan, have been for years, but I wanted to know a good opinion of the average fan and see if they actually had lost. Part of me wants to have the NHL lose a lot of revenue this year, just so Gary Bettman can realize what just happened. I mean, for the first time, I think, ever, they were $1 billion franchise. This last coming back in, and they had a lockout for the third time in just over a decade.
It's terrible.
Detrimental.
And,
obviously the hardcore fans, I wasn't going to go anywhere, and I was so happy to see hockey back. Are you going to watch it again this season, you think? Are you going to throw a game on here or there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not in my own spare time.
Yeah.
But if I'm at a place and the Bees are on, I'll cheer for him just because of Boston. But I'm not going to be watching a Sharks game or a Black Sox game or.
Right. Yeah. And that's it. That's what I think that Gary Bettman needs to figure out what he's doing. He's been putting Band-Aids on deals since he took over in, I think, 1993, because that was that first lockout. It was 94, or not the first one, but the first of his tenure. Mm-hmm. And it was only been 8 years since a full season was canceled. That was when they were at their low. This is at the high point. They had a couple of Original Six teams win Stanley Cups.
Yep.
I couldn't believe that a work stoppage happened again for that long. It boggled my mind, and I know that it lost. Like I said, I kind of hope it loses some revenue, but at the same time, as a hockey fan, it was so nice to see the last couple of years. You walk into your friend's house, and instead of Jeopardy or something else being on, the Bruins were on. I always used to have to be shunned down to my basement to watch it by myself because nobody wanted to watch hockey. And it came back, and I think they just blew it.
I love a good game of Jeopardy, though.
Yeah.
I love a good game of Jeopardy. I can't fault me there.
Speaking of the Bruins, they're off to a hot start. They haven't lost a game yet. They're 4-0-1. What do you think? What do you think for the season? You got any predictions? Let's see what you got.
They're looking good.
Yeah, they are looking good.
They're young. They're tough. Horton's back. He's looking real good. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, they can keep his head in a good spot. Extra little pillow on the front and back there.
Yeah.
But damn, Tuukka Rask, I didn't think he had it in him, but he's shutting down.
What do you think of Tim Thomas taking the season off?
Butthead.
Really? Is that, yeah.
You can't run out on your team like that.
No.
Who's going to want to take a guy after his 1 year retirement? Who's going to want to take him and be like, oh, yeah, come run away from us a year from now, too?
Yeah, exactly. What a blow. He was Boston sports for a little bit. When they made that cut run, Tim Thomas was a god. I don't know what he was doing. That's just bizarre. Whole thing is just bizarre. He's holed up in in a bunker in Colorado or something like that.
Threatened by young talent.
Yeah, he cited family is the reason. I think that was great. I think it was just he's under contract. We're gonna move on, but I want to go to your point to Tuukka. Unbelievable young goaltender. He's got the head. He's got the mindset. The Marchands, the Sagans, the Rasks. They got this team on lockdown right now. You still got Bergie playing. Unbelievable.
Solid core players.
Unbelievable.
Solid core.
And they're banging. The first game, 2 fights within 2 seconds. They're ready to bang you out of town. Yep. Play the
Send
Rangers.
A message.
Yeah, the only game they lost was a 4-3 to the Rangers in overtime. Yep. It was a bout. It looks like the Bruins are going to have it for a little while.
Double OT, right?
Was it? No. It was only one overtime.
No, there's only one shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's my hockey knowledge right there. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at this team, I was reading a couple articles, and a lot of people haven't really pegged for a cup run. Do you think they got a cup run in them?
Yes.
Any reasons?
The Bruins are the top team in the East right now.
Yeah.
Top team in the East. You got the Blackhawks playing killer.
Unbelievable.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But again, I look at all the young raw talent that the Bruins have. They can stay healthy. They're going places.
I think so too. If they don't get bit by the injury bug, it's going to be. I don't know. I always am reluctant to say cup run this early. It is early. They're playing 4 games a week. Their legs.
Early, but it's a short.
It's short. But it's short. There's only 48 games, and my hesitation comes from this is the beginning for this season. Obviously, It's the middle of the season. But playing 4 games with 2 very, very young goalies is going to be interesting in the middle of that, the middle of the swing. It's a lot of hockey. And I was talking to a friend of mine. I think, it's going to be a slow playoffs. It's going to be a lot of tired guys. So when it gets to that point, I don't know. Carolina played us tough always, although last night was a great win for them.
Yep.
A 5-3, terrific win. But I'm hesitant to say that they're going to be the best in the East because the Devils are right there with us. We're playing the Devils, I think, tonight. So check that out if you guys want to. They're playing the Devils tonight. That should be a heck of a game. I don't think the Devils have lost yet. I think they're sitting at 7 points, and we're sitting at 8, I think, something like that.
I think we have 9.
9, right. Yeah, 4 wins and an OT loss. So, yeah,
Marty
Brodeur. Tough schedule coming up, though. We got, so next 4 games, you got the Devils, one of the top centers in the East, the reigning champion in the East. You got the Maple Leafs and you got the Canadiens. What do you think that first Canadiens game is going to look like?
Subban's going to get hit hard.
Yeah.
Subban's going to get hit hard. They just signed him to a new 2-year deal. Dude's hated around here.
Oh, yeah. As he should be. The flop that was in those playoffs was like, are you
hated.
Yeah,
can't do that.
I can't wait for the rivalry, personally. I'm so excited because we haven't, Celtics are looking a little lackluster. So being a Boston guy, I would love to see that intensity, especially with the Patriots dropping what they dropped.
They got to start that game with a boom.
Yep.
Lucic, right hook, right to Subban's face will be real pretty.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Real pretty.
Lucic's been fighting, too. That was
about
that's
damn time.
Well, they told him, I think in the last couple of years, they probably told him to, relax because he needs to be a presence on offense. He needs to be out there. But he's come out ready to, he's looking to take some guys out. I want one last topic here. I want your feeling on a topic that has been nationally known for probably about 2 weeks now. Lance Armstrong admitting to using PEDs. I want your feeling on the situation, whether you think it takes away from his legacy or whether you think it's
gonna take away from his legacy. Dude was a beast. Who doesn't dope in bicycling?
Yeah.
Honestly, 99% of the field. If you say you're not doping, go to confession because you're lying right through your teeth.
Yeah.
They all do. It's gonna kill him though. He's going to go down in history like Clemens and Canseco, Palmeiro. He's going to get tied in with all those guys that use steroids.
I don't know to the extent, though, because those guys, it was just sports to them. That was it. The thing that I like to say in this situation is, first of all, when you talk to people about the Tour de France normally, you have to tell them what the Tour de France is. Yep. So it's not like it's the most popular sport in America. He was obviously a central figure, and because he was denying it for so long, but he raised over $400 million for cancer research. He's saved countless lives. He's given people hope at the end of their journey. For what he did in the sport, like you said, if you're in the top 10, you're doping. In my opinion, at this point in time, I think like the last 5, or 3 of the last 5 have been vacated. The Tour de France victories have been vacated, and because of doping. So I think, with that being in the sport and so ubiquitous in the sport, I would hope that the lasting impression isn't the Roger Clemens, and it just shifts completely over to the cancer side. Tiger Woods has sort of recovered. We're talking about it in a positive light. Do you see that kind of happening to him?
Yeah, I do. As time goes on, he's going to continue to do great things.
Yeah.
For people, for sports. He's gonna always be there. You know. And after his role in dodgeball, hypes him up.
Yeah.
Hypes him up a little bit. Gets him back in the game.
2005.
He might have lied a little bit in that little monologue he had, but.
He lied pretty much everywhere for the last 10 years, and he did. You
got
got to give
away
the man
with it.
credit. I was gonna say they got to give the
Got
man
away
credit.
with
If he really was the most tested athlete on the face of the planet, he was doing one heck of a job.
Yep.
Good
for him.
Seriously,
Good for him.
You only get, if you get caught, you get caught. But if he hadn't gotten caught, that is one heck of a doping scheme.
He went down swinging.
He did. He did.
Like Muhammad Ali says, you go down that hallway.
Yeah, that whole thing with Oprah. Why did he choose Oprah?
Because it's Oprah.
Who
doesn't love Oprah?
I don't know. All right. Right now, we are going to go and we are going to ask our incredible crew out here which one of us actually took some time and out-debated the other one. So, we're going to give the crew a little bit of time here, and we're going to see what they think.
How much time do we give him, Will?
I think it's about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah, so you need some time to think. Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking.
It's not good. And let me tell you, the award we got is absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's one heck. We're in the season here at Around the Valley.
Is it a Dunkin's iced coffee?
Oh, it looks like we're coming to a vote. All right.
Yeah.
So let's see what I think one of them is just going to point us out. Oh, wow. I don't know. I don't know if that's all right. I guess our people's champion today and getting in the festive season, Mr. Justin Mortin.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Let's go X Games.
X Games.
Let's go X Games.
What about the X Games?
Extreme sports, extreme falls,
Extreme falls.
injuries. Caleb Moore, all my prayers out to that guy, dude. Trooper, but damn, there were some good falls.
There really were. I mean,
Hagar Helgeson ate about 10 feet of snow, and he was still giving the old deuces
Yeah,
up there when
yeah.
he was on the way out. Sean White, dude, 6-peat super pipe,
yep.
24 feet of air out of the half pipe,
That's 40 feet off the earth.
at least.
That's
Like,
40 feet off the earth.
doing double backflips, this, that. Oh, man.
Yeah.
He was looking fresh to death with that new do he's got. No more rag to riches for this guy.
Flying Tomato's gone. And what
Oh,
happened?
hey.
I'm
He's
too bummed.
Still flying.
Way
still
too
flying,
bummed.
still crushing. Can't wait to see him in the Olympics. See what he
Um,
does to the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, 2 years from now, there is iPod who didn't show up, but he's a young gun. All right, so you got to watch out here.
Yep.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Around the Valley. You can catch us next week when we will see Mr. Kyle McClinovich coming back to the desk to host. Everybody have a great week, and let's hope there's some cool stuff that happens in sports.